Testing, testing. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So a little bit of technical difficulty getting things started, but welcome to episode 1 of The Warp Zone. Now, this is going to be a new show here on the channel, most likely always targeting around 10:30 Eastern Time, Monday nights. Uh, I was a bit late tonight. I'll admit it. I was getting everything set up for the first show. And since this is so different than what I was doing usually, well, it took me a little bit of extra time to get everything going. Um, if this is your first time on the channel, I did talk about this show a little bit in the last few weeks. The point is to go over basically all the news, everything that's happening with primarily Nintendo, but honestly, anything in the gaming and entertainment world. Basically, everything I want to talk about, but I don't necessarily have the time to make separate videos on. And that's what the point of this show is going to be, to make sure that we get to talk about all the issues that you guys are going to want to talk about, that I'm going to want to talk about. And you know what? Personally, for the moment, pretty much nothing is off the table. So I'm going to be looking for a lot of input from you guys in the chat and whatnot. What do you want to see in these future episodes? Obviously, we're always going to be Switch focused primarily, so there's always going to be a lot of stories that are going to be about the Switch. However, at the same time, if we want to talk about drama on the internet, I don't want this to turn into a drama show, but you know, from time to time, bigger stories, we can do that. I know there's a lot of garbage going on right now for a lot of things. I didn't plan to talk about it tonight, but if some of you want to talk about it, we will. It's not going to be the primary focus, though. Like, we'll keep that towards the end of the show if people want my take on some things. And when I say that nothing's off the table, there are some things, however, that even if you would want to talk about, I might take off the table. Especially if I personally don't think that I have any input in the subject. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know about. And I'll just give one really very clear thing. American politics, I'm Canadian. I don't feel I should really give my take on American politics. It's not my country. It's not something we will most likely talk about here. Of course, like, big world events could be on the table, but you know, I think you guys get the gist of it. Anyway, I don't think that's what this show is going to be about. We want to focus primarily on gaming stuff. I want to say hi to the couple of people that I see in the chat so far. Corey, Nanaki, welcome, guys. Hopefully you're going to find this entertaining. Like I said, tons of feedback. Let me know in the comments down below as you're watching the show, as things are happening, in the chat, in the comments. Let me know what you want to see in the future. What are the things you like about this show idea? And I'm really, like I said, trying to model this for something that's going to be a big part of the channel in the future. At the same time, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps send out the stream to more people. As you can see, I'll put in the title generally what the biggest subjects we are going to be discussing, at least the biggest subjects to me. For example, the new Zelda Echoes of Wisdom trailer. So, you know, Nintendo gave me a gift for the first show this morning by dropping an amazing new trailer, and it's got me even more excited about the game. I want to talk about the new Mario and Animal Crossing Lego sets too. If you don't know, I do collect a lot of Lego, and I'm really into the Lego crossovers with gaming. So we're going to talk about those sets. I do have a lot of thoughts about them. Some are looking good, some are looking not so good. So that's another thing I want to look at. I do want to talk about the news of RDJ coming into Doctor Doom's role, because I saw a lot of people shitting on it as it's just like a a sort of PR move for Marvel because the movies are doing bad and they're bringing RDJ back at any price and he's going to save. But I do want to let you guys know that there is history for having Doctor Doom and Iron Man sort of linked in the MCU. So this isn't something that was never heard of in the comics. It's actually happened, similar situations. And I want to look at that because I actually found an article that went over it. I was only aware of like one or two of the situations, but I found a really interesting article that shows about 6 times that this has happened in the comics in different forms. So I do want to give my take on that. I find it something that's really exciting. I just saw, Deadpool Wolverine. Love the movie. If we can get our Marvel movies back into a good place, I would be extremely happy. So I do want to talk about that a little bit. And then I have other subjects on the table. Hopefully, we're going to get to everything. But one thing that I want to absolutely do every show is I want to look at some really exciting trailers that dropped for other games coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I want to take a look at what games are coming out in the next week. Now, by the way, I know that the RDJ news, the Mario Lego sets are slightly old. By old, I mean they're like about 2 weeks old. But don't forget, this is episode 1. So we're coming up to date. You know what I mean? I've got to cover the stories that I got excited about that I haven't had a chance to talk about. Starting next week, it'll only be the stories from the last week that we'll be covering. So don't worry, we're not going to be talking about old news. Most of the time, it's going to be fresh stuff that happened in the last week. Just since this is episode 1, well, we've sort of got to start somewhere. So first, just to situate yourself, I want to talk about RDJ. I think it's a good way to open up the show because it's the not Nintendo stuff. So let's get this out of the way, and then we can sort of move into the more exciting, the bigger stuff. And yes, Rodrigo, this is a new show. If you missed the intro, I recommend you maybe listen to it. The first 5 minutes that I've been talking, I've been setting up what my idea for the show is, but just to let you know, we're not going to be playing games. We are going to be looking at trailers. We're going to be reacting to basically what's happening in the Nintendo world. So first of all, I'm going to stop talking now for a while. Been a pretty long monologue. And let's take a look at the reveal of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom that happened. If this is news to you guys, most likely most of you already know this, but I want to watch the video just to situate anyone who'd be watching the show who is not aware that this happened. So let's take a look, and then I will, like I said, we'll move into my take on all of this and look at a few times that this has actually happened in the comics. I'm Rodrigo. I am aiming that every episode will probably be between an hour to an hour and a half. And I might be reposting the more interesting sections back on the channel as separate videos for someone who maybe doesn't want to sit through the whole 1.5 hour. But that's still working ideas, so we'll see how it goes. So, like I said, I'm going to stop talking now. Let's watch the trailer, and hopefully sound and everything is going to be good.
As proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multi-universe, we give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
I was losing my shit when this happened. Hey Bear, how you doing, man? The sunglasses were like icing on the cake, man.
New mask. Same task. What did I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
Awesome stuff. So that is basically it. It's not a very long video. You guys can watch. There is a little bit. They do a little bit of talking after. But basically, if you were not aware, yes, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU, and he is going to be playing Dr. Doom. So he's coming back, and he's not even coming back as Iron Man. Now, as I said, a lot of people there are two camps. You have the people like me that are super excited that this is happening, and the fact that the Russo brothers are back as well, I think they can deliver us a storyline that is not going to feel cheesy and cheap like a lot of the latest Marvel movies that we had, excluding Deadpool Wolverine. And I think they're going to be able to pull off something that is going to make sense. And actually, I love the Deadpool Wolverine thing that pulled elements from the multiverse, but didn't make the whole movie about the goddamn multiverse. The whole movie was about the team up. And the multiverse was a plot device. And that's how the multiverse should be used. The whole movie shouldn't be just about the multiverse. So, that aside, I'm just going to pop up an article here because, like I said, I found a very interesting article that basically, for me, was super interesting. And these are different times that Tony Stark and Doctor Doom have sort of traded places. And this is sort of just to show you guys that a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, this is a PR stunt. They're bringing back the biggest name in Marvel movies to sort of save the Marvel universe. Yes, that is true. But at the same time, they're doing it in a way that has happened in the comics. So this isn't like just, oh my God, we're throwing stuff at a dartboard. At least 5 times in the past, Doctor Doom and Tony Stark have switched roles or places in different fashions. And by the way, for anyone who's new here to the show, I introduce you to Topaz. Topaz is going to be most likely a regular figure on the show, just like she's on the streams. And she's going to be probably walking around the set. And obviously, as soon as I'm doing something important, she's going to be in the screen. By the way, everyone that's here, hit that like button. Don't forget, hit the like button. Send this stream out to more people so that we can get this show out there. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's look at 5 times in the MCU that Doctor Doom and Iron Man have been linked in some different capacity. So this is one that I was not aware of. Like I said, I was aware of 2 times. There was one which we'll look at a little bit later. It was a what if adventure that I knew that they had swapped places in a really, really way. And I would say that's probably the closest to the way it's happening in the movie, I would say. Probably. We still don't know how it's going to happen, but closest. So in Exiles number 3, this is one I was not aware of. Hold on. Topaz was about to fall off the table there, the way she jumped. So in Exiles number 3, Tony Stark actually kills Doctor Doom and becomes the monarch of Earth and rules over the Earth as a new Doom. And honestly, this is one I was totally unaware of. And this could actually maybe be a play on it. Maybe this is a Tony Stark from another universe, universe that basically is killed Doctor Doom, or he doesn't even have to kill Doctor Doom since he's not currently in the multiverse, but he's just taken on the persona of Doom in another universe, and he's ruling that universe as a monarch. Because, you know, Tony's had that savior complex. So maybe he thinks the only way to save the Earth is to control the Earth. Control everything that happens. You know what I mean? You prepare for Thanos. Like, I think he saw that a lot of things that happened, like Civil War and all that, took away from his ability to protect the Earth from Thanos. So maybe in some universes, he just decides, F it, we're taking control. And rather than be known as Iron Man, he just is known as Doctor Doom. And, you know, I have a sneaky suspicion that maybe they're actually going to bring Iron Man back into the Marvel universe at the end, in somewhere in the movie. Maybe even like a different version of Tony Stark, not played by RDJ, but it's going to be like a true passing of the torch, like was supposed to happen between him and Spider-Man, but it didn't really turn out that way in the way, in the whole thing, in the whole Marvel universe set up with the movies, because a lot of the other movies tanked after that. Not Spider-Man, but a lot of them outside of that. So after that, basically, there's another version. Also, once again, I didn't know it, Marvel Team Up number 2, where basically the world's Doom, so Doctor Doom exists in that universe, and it's just revealed to be Tony Stark. And he calls himself the Iron Maniac. But basically, the Iron Maniac in that storyline is Doctor Doom. And he's basically revealed to be Tony Stark. So that would be another awesome way to bring it into the universe. Makes sense. It's happened in the comic books, so they'll be working from something that is basically realistic. Yes, and that would be equivalent grovel to Tony Stark just being Doctor Doom the entire goddamn time. It's just Tony Stark in another universe. Rather than taking on the persona of Iron Man, he takes on the persona of Doctor Doom. And you know what better than the biggest threat to the multiverse, our multiverse, so the sacred timeline, than our greatest hero that saved the sacred timeline from Thanos being cast as the villain. It is sort of poetic in a certain way. And then we have Marvel Adventures Fantastic Four, which basically it's a world where the Fantastic Four are villains and Victor Von Doom is known as Doc Iron and he's the hero. So I think this is the least like what's happened. But in this world, it's just everything's flipped on the head. The Fantastic Four are bad and Doctor Doom is good. But Doctor Doom is actually known as Doc Iron, so he just looks like Iron Man, but it's still Victor Von Doom. So I don't really think this is going to be anywhere near the storyline. But the what if story is the one that I knew of here. And this is a really interesting take on it, which in basically in this version of what if is that very early in their life, Doctor Doom actually tricks Tony Stark to swapping minds. So Victor Von Doom's mind winds up in Tony Stark's body, and Tony Stark's mind winds up in Doctor Doom's body, meaning that basically in this version of reality in this what if episode, and you know what ifs are generally not canon at all. Exactly, it's like a brain transplant, but basically it winds up being Doctor Doom versus Iron Man, but obviously Iron Man is on the bad side of things and Doctor Doom is actually winds up being the good side of things. Once again, I don't see this one happening in the comics. In my opinion, we're going to be looking at the Marvel Team Up #2 version, or maybe the Exiles number 23. But anyway, just the point I wanted to talk about all this is let's trust that the Russos are going to deliver on something good that is not going to feel like a cheap Hail Mary of bringing back RDJ for any capacity. I trust that it's going to be something good. They've done good in the past. And I think Marvel has finally woken up to fan service. You cannot have a Marvel movie without fan service, and you cannot go down the path of if we keep slamming it down their throat, they're eventually going to love it. You know what I mean? Like, I think Marvel's tried to do with a lot of other movies. So that's my take on the RDJ thing. I wanted to talk about it because after seeing Deadpool Wolverine, which to me is like a 9 or 10 out of 10 Marvel movie, because it is just fan service from beginning to end. It is extremely honest to both characters, and it's just a god darn fun time. I want to be excited about Marvel movies again. I was very sad. Like, if you guys don't know, I have a Marvel tattoo on my arm. Like, I have the Avengers tattooed on my arm. I'm a huge fan. I want this to come back. I want to be excited about the movies again. And honestly, Deadpool Wolverine is the first premiere I've seen in a long time as well. I was there the Thursday for the, the premiere of the movie. I brought my wife, my daughter. It was an awesome time. We came out of the theater, all three of us with huge smiles on our faces. It was just a good movie overall, and a good movie even if you didn't know all about Deadpool. My wife doesn't follow everything, and she was loving it. So let's close the door on this first story, which is RDJ. I did not get the bucket. My wife did not let me. She said I have too much garbage around in my studio that I have no room for an extra bucket, so she did not let me buy it. However, secretly, I'm going to go with my brother, see it again, and I'm going to get the bucket. So I will get the bucket. Don't worry. There will be the bucket. I just don't have it yet. Okie doke. So that was the first story I wanted to take a look at. Now, before we go to one of the biggest ones, which is the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I do want to take a look at two other quick announcements that we got from Nintendo as well. If it is sold out, I'll buy it on the secondhand market. Honestly, I want the bucket, but I'll check. Sometimes here in Canada, it's a little bit easier. People are a little bit less crazy about that stuff, so sometimes it's a little bit easier. I'll go check a few theaters. I'm pretty sure I'll find it. But if not, I would even go so far as to go for the secondary market. And, like I said, guys, if you have questions, if you want me to, go deeper into some things, let me know in the chat. Like I said, this is your show too. So I want you guys to feel like you're part of the show. Let me know what's happening as we go along. Let me know your thoughts on everything we're talking about. Okay, let's move. Like I said, before we go to the big story, I want to look at a couple of other announcements because I think there are two other games, and we see them here on stream. There are two other things that I want to take a look at that are big, big enough news that they're worth taking a look at. Let's just put it that way. What part of Canada am I from? I'm from Quebec. I'm around the somewhere around the Montreal region. So biggest city in Quebec, Montreal. I'm somewhere around there. Now, first, I want to take a look at a new update coming out for Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb was one of my favorite games of... Is it 2022 already that it came out? I have to check the release date. It was 2022 or 2023. But one of my favorite games of that year. And the fact that at one point we were maybe going to get no longer updates because of the whole drama with the engine that the game was using was very sad. So the fact that we're getting updates again is something that I'm super excited about. Now, actually, English is my first language, but I obviously do have an accent because basically my dad's South American, my mom's German, and everyone here speaks French. So the English that I learned from people that all had accents. So I have like a very weird accent, but yes, it's probably closest to a French accent because I picked it up over time, and because of work, I have to speak French all day. So, but English is actually my first language. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the Cult of the Lamb announcement. If you guys didn't know, we have some new DLC, like I said, coming out, the Pilgrim Pack trailer. It's not super huge. It's just fun to see that we're getting updates again to the game. So this one isn't a super big announcement, but it's just a fun thing to see that we're back there. I have to ask because I do not like them, but apparently it's big in Canada. Do you like ketchup flavored chips? I personally do not. I am not a huge fan of ketchup flavored chips, but yes, they are big in Canada, and because apparently they don't make them really anywhere else. Yeah, that's where the other comes from. Yeah, it not only that, it's because I'm tongue-tied. I am tongue-tied, so I cannot pronounce I cannot pronounce. I have to really focus to pronounce the th sound. Like if I don't force myself, I would say de, but I can say the. It's just I have to think about doing it because I'm tongue-tied. So it's an effort, if you will. But yeah, okay. Let's jump into Cult of the Lamb Pilgrim Pack trailer. I love the art style of this game. It's insane. So it's a little. I'm really interested to see. I'm playing back a part of it, the part with the whole graphic novel. because I've been trying to see what to make of this. Because what I've been basically, it seems to be some kind of interactive digital comic that's going to be part of the game itself. The one thing I'm wondering is is it going to lead to the quest, or is this like really a totally separate mode that we're going to get in the game? So an interactive comic book is basically, you know, you're going to be able at different points in the storyline to choose different actions, and it's going to influence the end result, which is like sort of like a graphic novel. Think of along the lines of a graphic novel, but rather than be in Marvel style, in novel style, it'll be done in a comic book style. And let me just mute this, and I'll play it in the background as we talk about the game. Can I loop this? I think I can. Take autoplay off. Can I do a loop? I'll get that fixed for next time, because I know there's a way to loop the trailers. I'll just have to do it manually for the moment. So, like I said, Cult of the Lamb, I'm super excited. We are at least getting one new quest. So, honestly, any reason I have to come back to this game is always going to be a good one. If you guys haven't played Cult of the Lamb yet, keep an eye out for eShop deals. Next time it's on sale, honestly, invest $15 in this. It is an amazing game. Performance is maybe not the best on the Switch in the sense that it's better on other consoles, but it is still extremely playable. Extremely fun. And honestly, since there's a lot of like in-between work, being able to play it in handheld form to me is really fun, is really a super big bonus for this one. So like I said, if you guys didn't know, August 12th, we're going to be getting the Pilgrim Pack. I'm most likely myself going to be jumping back into the game. I don't think I'll be streaming it, but it is during my week off. So if we're having a quiet moment in the week where there's really nothing else to stream that day, because hopefully we'll be celebrating 20K subscribers. We're like 3 or 4 people away right now. I'd have to check the official count here. We're 5 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers, so we'll be celebrating it that week. But it could be a possibility for one that we're going to be playing. But if you guys didn't know, so this is one of the really important announcements for people that already own the game, especially to jump into the Pilgrim Pack. The one thing that's not sure is it seems to be a free download, but I'm not guaranteed. I wasn't able to find the information 100% guaranteed. Some people are saying it's free. Some people are saying it's paid. I'm really hoping it's free DLC. So far, they've been pretty generous with new content for the game. So I am really crossing my fingers on that one. Now, there is another one I want us to take a look at, and that is The Eternal Life of Goldman. Now, this was actually announced last week in the THQ Nordic showcase. And the one thing that was sort of sad in that showcase, it was hard to always see what consoles the game was coming to. And when I saw this game, I was like, this is a Switch game. But I couldn't confirm in that showcase if it was going to be a Switch game. But we just got the announcement trailer dropped from Nintendo. Now, guys, watch this. If you are a Metroidvania fan, if you're a Hollow Knight fan, if you liked Bo Path of the Teal Lotus, this is a game trailer you're going to want to watch. And we're going to talk about it after. Yeah, it's coming to all. You are right. It's just that I don't know why in the THQ Nordic, I was looking for the Switch symbol all the time and I had trouble finding it. But I was watching someone as well was streaming the showcase because I didn't know it was coming out. And I just so happened to be watching the stream. So basically, I was... it's possible that maybe it was hidden by his camera. But let's go take a look. Guys, this is once again an amazing trailer that you're not going to want to miss. Let's unmute this.
Don't let the calm exterior fool you. Under the surface, this place is so twisted, no hero could ever save it.
The art style is so freaky but beautiful at the same time. This is not the game, by the way, guys.
Luckily, Goldman is no hero.
I just really find it funny that it's like a totally old dude that looks like Scrooge McDuck as a human.
Dr. Gilbert says the people we have feelings for can never really leave us. Is that true?
It sure is.
Is hate a feeling?
It sure is.
Insane, eh? This game looks really, really good. And I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, we're at 1080p. I was looking a little, the quality was looking a little down there at times, but same thing. I'm just gonna mute it and start the trailer over so that we can talk about it. This game looks insanely amazing. I mean, we get a lot of Metroidvanias. I'm not gonna lie, but this one seems on another level. Just like Path of the Teal Lotus was on another level, and I mean, the eventual Hollow Knight follow-up is probably going to be on another level. I think this one could really be extremely promising. Now, I'm not going to lie, it looks like a challenging game. Like, from what I can... If you look at the gameplay, like, let's just get to the gameplay. If you look at the gameplay, I don't see this being a super casual game. I mean... You just look at the obstacles you have to play with. You look at the number of enemies sometimes on the screen you have to deal with, the different techniques that you're using in the gameplay. I'm thinking this is going to be a game aiming towards the harder audience that appreciates harder games. However, I do hope that they're going to look into putting in some accessibility features, like Path of the Teal Lotus. So if you guys didn't play that game, I think that game really made me open my eyes to the right way to use accessibility to make games appreciated by a wider audience. Like even Hollow Knight, as great as it is, I think should be re-released with the same type of accessibility features that other game was released with. Because yes, there is that sort of feeling of accomplishment when you get through a really tough section for people that love Elden Ring, for people that love the challenge. But at the same time, I'm the kind of person that I can control myself. If I don't want to use those options, I'm not going to use them. However, why would I prevent, like, I'll give you an example. My daughter was watching me play Path of the Teal Lotus, and she was like, wow, this game looks so good. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. But I guarantee you that if I leave the game without an accessibility feature activated, there's no way she would have been able to play it. Now, she didn't finish the game, but she did play 2 or 3 hours of it because I put her on the slower speed. I gave her infinite life, and she had a ton of fun with the game. Is she getting a different experience than I was playing the game without the accessibility features, except when I needed to film like a section for my review? Yeah, she did. But at the same time, I think in the future it's something that I it sort of opened my eyes. For a long time I was part of the audience that was like, oh, I don't like accessibility features. I want people to push their way through the game and play the game as it was developed for. But at the same time, if someone doesn't want that experience, why would we prevent them from playing a game? And I know people are going to hate my take on that, but it is still where I am. The more I play games and the more I realize that, gating games behind difficulty is sucky for people who don't like that and don't want a stressful time while playing. I love, frustration. I think you guys have seen me play games and just be like, you know, get that feeling where you're stuck and you have to overcome the obstacle, and that amazing feeling of satisfaction when you overcome it. But not everyone has that drive with gaming. And I think it's okay to open the door for people that don't. And it doesn't take anything away from people who do accomplish a game without those features. So personally, I'm hoping that this one either is on the normal level or does come out with like some accessibility features so that everyone can appreciate it. The one thing, however, I did want to say is I find it's a really weird choice for a hero. It works. Don't get me wrong. It works. And I'm open to the idea. It's so odd how the hero is the one thing that feels totally out of place in this whole game. Like if you look anywhere where you see the hero, this guy looks totally out of place. Like seriously, look at this. It's like bugs with swirling energy, and you've got like a dude with like a comb up and a cane. It's funny. It works because he looks like a fish out of water, I think. But seriously, it's just funny. When I saw this at the beginning, I really didn't know what to think. I was like, am I gonna like this? But then when I saw the gameplay and I saw the interactions, I was like, you know what? It doesn't even matter what the dude looks like. Yeah, it looks like you're right. It looks like the oh my god, the owner of Jurassic Park in the first movie. What's his name? We all know who I'm talking about, but yeah, the owner of Jurassic Park, the old guy who starts it. You are totally right. Yeah, exactly. Mario's a Brooklyn plumber. You never works and what doesn't. Gameplay is king. Exactly. No, and don't get me wrong. It works. It just is amazing how fish out of water the character looks. Colonel Sanders. Yes, you're right. Colonel Sanders, the guy who runs Jurassic Park. That's what I get from this guy. You guys are totally right. But either way, super excited for this game. We don't get a date though. Coming soon. Generally, coming soons, I would say, is generally within a 3-month period. But at the same time, take your time, guys. I want this game to come out good, running well on the Switch. And that's maybe one of THQ Nordic's weak spots. They do sometimes release games on the Switch that don't run in the best of shape. Like if you look at Darksiders 3, that's what happened. You know what I mean? They released it. It was not in the best shape possible. Okay. So, 2 great games. Well, 1 great update, 1 great game announced. Now we're going to move into, I think, the meat of today's episode. We're going to be talking about the new trailer for The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Now, hopefully, some of you have maybe seen it, but for some of you, it might even be a brand new game. A brand new announcement or brand new trailer, I would say. Not brand new game, because I think if you're here, if you follow the Switch, you all know a new Legend of Zelda game's coming out. But hopefully not everyone saw this one. Darksiders 3 is rough on the Switch. honestly, it is very rare that I will say this about a game, but if you can play it on another system, I would recommend it. I have it on the Switch, and I also have it on PlayStation, and I had way more fun playing it on PlayStation. Especially if you want to play it with the because there's two ways to play it. You have a standard mode, which is basically uh, the combat is very Souls-like in the standard mode, and then they made a classic mode, which is more along the lines of what you could have expected from Darksiders 1 and 2. Because by the way, they changed the combat system total between Darksiders 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 were hack and slashes with Zelda elements. 3 became they kept the Zelda elements, but they made it the combat system a Souls-like. Personally, I don't think. Oh, it is still rough. I know. You have zones where you'll freeze in the middle of a zone to load the next part of the zone, and it's not a load screen. The game just freezes for like 3-4 seconds, and then you sort of can move your character again. Okay. But basically, yeah. So they changed the combat system to Souls-like. Personally, I just don't think it fits with the Darksiders series. I think they should have kept it hack and slash personally. And if you look at Darksiders Genesis, which they did as a top down, if you want a really good Darksiders after the first two on Switch, I would say Darksiders Genesis is your better option. You can actually swap between Strife and War from the first game, and it plays like a top-down Diablo style game, if you will. But I'm saying Diablo style, but it's not really a looter. Like it's not a looter. It's it's a storyline, but the gameplay style is like that. War and Strife, yeah, exactly. So if you want a really good one, I would recommend that one before Darksiders 3. And by the way, if you guys don't know, there is a new Darksiders game coming out. However, we got a really, really odd teaser. We'll take a look at it after. We'll talk about Zelda, and we'll take a look at the teaser for a new Darksiders game. However, we don't know if it's Darksiders 4. We don't know, like we have no information whatsoever. It's like a 20 or 30-second teaser, and all we see are the I forget their names, but the three stone heads that are like the elder gods in Darksiders that control the horsemen. I have a blank on their name, but yeah. No problem, Rodrigo. So I would say come back in about 10-15 minutes and we'll probably done with the Zelda stuff. Respect that totally, Rodrigo. Or, you can always pick up the VOD after we're done and then just skip the Zelda stuff. I will try to be putting in different time markers after. Okay, so guys, let's jump into Zelda and we'll talk more Darksiders after. We'll take a look at the teaser as well. And hopefully I think you said it answered your question, Boston Bugsy, but that's what I meant with THQ Nordic. They sometimes put out games on the Switch and performance isn't top notch. I hope they don't do that with Goldman because it won't recover. A new property like that on the Switch won't recover if it doesn't come out in good shape.
Welcome to Hyrule, a vast land where Princess Zelda will journey through her grand adventure. Hyrule is a land of plentiful abundance. From the central plateau, where Hyrule Castle stands enfolded by its castle town, to the outermost reaches, you'll encounter new and interesting people in each of its diverse regions.
Now I'm going to pause the trailer a couple of times as we go through it.
Scorching dunes as far as the eye can see and is prone to frequent sandstorms. That's no problem for the women of the Gerudo tribe, though. There are many ruins full of mysteries here. And an oasis, a great place to relax. Jabul Waters is home to some...
Okay. It's going to be a really odd feeling going to Gerudo and being a woman character, a female character. Because let's be honest, if you've played through any of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, even Ocarina of were they in Ocarina of Time? Oh my god, I have a huge blank. I know the Gerudo. I know the rock guys were in that. Were the Gerudos in there as well? Either way, yeah, they were there. Okay, yeah. Um, it's been so freaking long, and like they were. That's what I thought. Um, it's so weird because every time you see them, the whole issue is you're a dude, and men aren't allowed into their society, so you have to like dress like a woman and whatnot. This time, Zelda can just walk in there. It's going to be a really weird feeling, like a really weird twist this time around. And if you guys have been watching the stream, you also know what one of the takes that I had on a surprise that they might be keeping for this game that we will go over in the end. We're going to watch the rest of the trailer first, but I just wanted to say that when I saw this trailer, I was like, holy crap, we're going to go see the Gerudo, and we're not going to have that whole we need to be a woman problem. Okay, let's keep watching.
Of Hyrule's most scenic waterways. It's also where you can find the Sea Zora and the River Zora, who each reside in their respective villages. Though they don't always get along. What could they be fighting about? Daunting cliffs and lava flows dominate the Eldin volcano region. Kakariko village is nestled at the mountain's base, but you'll have to brave treacherous trails to reach the home of the Gorons. Those rocks may look delicious. Alas, they are not for Hylians. The Farron wetlands are a lush labyrinth of vegetation. As you wander the jungle, you might come across a Deku scrub. Rumor has it these peculiar creatures have a voracious sweet tooth. During your travels, you're likely to encounter people dealing with problems.
Now, the one other thing that we just realized from this trailer so far, and there were indications of this in the previous trailers, but this version of Hyrule seems much closer to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. We'll get an overview of the map in a few seconds, but I'm really interested to see this take of Hyrule done in 2D. You know what I mean? Because there's always been sort of this separation of Hyrule between the 2D versions of Hyrule and the 3D versions of Hyrule. And there's been other iterations. Like, if we take like the DS games there, whatchamacallit, the one with the train and the one, the other one, the ones I hated. I'm gonna trigger some people tonight, but yeah, the two Zelda games I hated, the DS ones, or even if you take Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, thank you, but there's the other one too. Either way, didn't like the DS games, but if you look, like, there's been various versions of Hyrule, and there's even been games where it doesn't even happen on Hyrule. Like most of the Game Boy games before that weren't even in Hyrule per se. They happened in other locations. But there's always been this disparity between the 2D and the 3D versions. Phantom Hourglass, thank you so much. If you guys don't know me yet, I am terrible for titles of games, okay? I have a super visual memory. So if you show me like an image from a game, I'll tell you what game it is. But if you ask me what title it is, like, I would say a good 25% of the time, I'm going to have it on the tip of my tongue and not able to say it. Arakusaki, man, in the agreement, I have to agree, Maple, those games were ass. They were ass. Like, for me to not finish a Zelda game, the games have to be special. Let's put it that way. Special. And I didn't finish those games. Like I didn't finish Skyward Sword till it came out back on the Switch because it was forcing me to use motion controls, and I just did not feel like playing through a whole Zelda game with motion controls. It's a much too long game. I can deal with motion controls for like an arcade style shooter or games that you can get done with in a couple of hours, but there is no way I'm going to play through a 20-something hour Zelda game with freaking motion controls. Just get that out of out of my sight right away. Okay, but getting back to this, iterations between 3D and 2D Zeldas. So I think it's going to be really interesting seeing the flip between the fact that this version of Hyrule seems to be close to the iteration of Breath of the Wild. Like the locations seem divided the same as we saw in Breath of the Wild and whatnot. But we'll see. There's an overview of the map, and I'll freeze it.
Keep track of quests by browsing your adventure log whenever you'd like.
I want to say this is another thing I really like. Side quest adventure log. They seem to be doing a lot of stuff for you to be able to sort of keep track of what you need to do. Liking this.
Helping people with their troubles is a big part of your journey, and wise heroes are often rewarded for their good deeds. Objects known as waypoints are scattered throughout the land. Once you've discovered one, you can return to it quickly by selecting it.
Here, we get an overview of the map. Sorry, pausing again. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but this is what I want to do. I want to dissect, especially a trailer that's like 5 minutes long. Trying to go back over everything we saw in 5 minutes in one shot is going to be impossible. But look at the division in the map. You have the Sora, you have the water people at the top. The only thing is that normally, I think in Breath of the Wild, yeah, the mountain people were like at the top right, and the water people were at the bottom right, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's how it was. Then you had upper left where the the bird people. I'm terrible with names, like I said. And then you have the Gerudo at the bottom left. The one thing we haven't seen is if the bird people are here again. And once again, if you guys want to tell me the name of the bird people in the chat, very appreciated. I could stop calling them the bird people. But basically, it does seem, but this by the way seems like only half the map or a quarter of the map, because you can see that Hyrule Castle is up here. So this actually might be only the lower section of, like, I think we're only looking at the lower, like the southeastern side of the map. Dorito, thank you. So I actually think that the map is going to be 4 times bigger than what we see here, which for a 2D Zelda game is most likely going to be a pretty big map. Okay, let's get going on the trailer. I just wanted to show you guys, it does seem very inspired by Breath of the Wild if you look at the placement of things that we can see so far.
On your map.
Waypoints are a great idea, by the way.
Even with the benefit of fast travel, getting around Hyrule can prove challenging. At times like these, why walk when you can ride?
Come on, guys.
Gallop
Horses in the 2D Zelda game.
To send them flying and hop over small obstacles with ease. Once you learn to make a carrot echo, you'll be able to call upon your trusty steed from anywhere in the overworld. As you explore, you may come across smoothie shops manned by business scrubs. Here you can blend the ingredients you've collected into delicious drinks. Smoothies have different effects based on the ingredients you choose. They're sure to come in handy during your travels. You can also equip outfits and accessories to enhance your abilities.
So I like the smoothie crafting too. Adding in a little bit of crafting is fun. It's different than what Link does. It's not potions. She makes smoothies. You know, like little differences like that I can deal with. And we still have, you know, items to collect. I just think the items in this game are going to be a lot less important than the echoes that they're talking about so far. But I'm glad they are keeping like that part of the gameplay.
And to look fashionable, obviously. Whether you're trekking over rugged plateaus, through winding caves, or other complex locales, creating echoes is key to success.
We can't watch One Piece most likely on the show, guys.
But sometimes they may not be enough. A huge boulder
We're
like
most
this
likely
cannot
gonna
be
get
learned as an
striked if
echo,
I do that.
and your other echoes won't move it
It's not
either.
that I wouldn't want to.
For obstacles like these, Try
Guys,
has
this
got
is
you
pure
covered
out
with
of
the power of
here.
bind.
Come
Use
on,
it
guys.
to make even a massive boulder follow
Pure out of
Zelda's
Tears
movement.
of the Kingdom. Different,
Bind
but
can help
different,
you
but
unearth buried
inspired.
treasure, or even reposition troublesome enemies.
That
you
seems
can
a
also
little cheap,
use
though.
bind on your echoes. So get creative and find ways to forge ahead. Alternatively, if you want to follow a moving object yourself, you can use reverse bond to go where it goes. Take advantage.
Don't know if you guys just noticed that, but we have a 2D plane here, just like we had in A Link Between Worlds. I'm really excited once again. Link Between Worlds and even I think Minish Cap had parts like this. Super excited that they're doing this again in like going between the two perspectives. I'm pretty sure they've done it in even more games than that. It's just those are the two that are like hitting me right away. I'm really hoping that we get a decent part of this. I'll show. We'll talk about something a little later. I'm just gonna let's move through the rest of this.
Reverse bond to go where it goes. Take advantage of a creature's ability to fly or to move around quickly. Swapping between bind and reverse bond is a great way to find clever paths forward. Let your imagination run wild, and you're bound to come up with all sorts of ideas. Use bind in combination with your echoes to overcome obstacles. Understanding how these two abilities work together will be essential to your progress.
Like, there seems to be a lot of open gameplay, like they did with Tears of the Kingdom, where, like, your mind, you're going to be able to, like,
mysterious rifts
cheat a
are
lot of stuff.
overtaking Hyrule. What else will Zelda have to contend with in her grand adventure to save her kingdom? There's only one way to find out. The Legend of Zelda.
So that's pretty much the end of the trailer, guys. I just want to make sure there wasn't
Echoes
anything
of
at the
Wisdom.
end, but
Available
I'm pretty sure there
September
isn't.
26th,
No.
only on the Nintendo Switch.
So I'm really wondering if they're going to show us, because this is the part they're still keeping secret, if you will. Because they've showed us a lot now. Like, now we probably saw, like, okay, I'll have to go back to my take for people that weren't there for the original take on Echoes of Wisdom, because if you've been following a lot of the news on this game, there was a rating that was discovered, and Nintendo was describing in the rating. Sorry, Topaz knocked my controller over. And she knocked over the good one. She knocked over the 8-bit DOE controller. A little bit annoying with that one. But what I was saying was, okay, so I did have a theory about this game, because there was a rating that basically said that Zelda will be playable, Link will be playable in the game, because they talk about sword combat and whatnot. The only thing that I then realized, there's two possibilities. When you're controlling mobs, and we see it somewhere in the trailer, he does fight with a sword. So I'd have to look at the wording that they found, but here, because the sword combat could also refer to when you're controlling a mob here,
Many ruins full of mysteries
like this.
here.
Okay, that was sword combat. We don't see a lot of it, but they could have been just referring to that. Or they could have been referring to the fact that Link is maybe playable in the beginning of the game. However, I had a bigger, wider theory with that, where I'm wondering if the part of the game that they're keeping secret, because you know that Nintendo does this a lot. They show us a lot of the game. Think of Tears of the Kingdom. We saw so much of the game, but when we actually played of the game, there was a lot that they didn't tell us as well. Okay? And basically, my thoughts were, what if we are going to flip between control of Zelda and control of Link? And what I the one there now there's many theories in this that are working against that belief. Okay, I had a deeper belief that this was going to happen till I saw this trailer, because they went so deep into the Zelda gameplay that I'm like, are they really at this point putting so much into the Zelda gameplay? Are they really going to make Link playable as well for a half of the game or a quarter of the game or a good chunk of the game? Okay. And this trailer has sort of lowered my belief that that might happen. I'm sorry, I think YouTube's going to run some ads. I'm going to wait till you all get back. Maybe you're not all going to get ads, but we're going to wait 10-20 seconds. I don't want people to miss out on everything. And I put it to one of the slowest settings for ads I could without cutting them out totally. Okay, so hopefully a good deal of you are back. Topaz is back. Like I said, if I'm doing something important, she's going to come and harass us. She's going to come and harass us. Okay, so so my belief in that has maybe lowered somewhat, but I still do think it could be a possibility that they're hiding from us. And the biggest thought that brought is here where Zelda jumps into the gaps, or what are they calling them? Hold on, they're calling them.
Will Zelda have to contend with in her grand adventure to are overtaking Hyrule?
What are they calling them?
Mysterious rifts are
Rifts.
overtaking.
Rifts, exactly. So two possibilities. What's that now? They're keeping this a secret for the moment, because obviously you can see that the trailer's like, what's happening when we jump into the rift? What if this is where we jump into the Link gameplay? In the sense that maybe, I'll give you an example. Maybe Link has to travel from rift to rift because he's stuck in the rifts, and maybe Zelda jumping in is gonna like unfreeze him or give him the ability to then make his way through a dungeon. Because the one thing that I want to notice in all of this is we see Zelda working on puzzles, but the only one that feels dungeon-like is this one. We haven't seen any actual dungeons. And maybe they're going down the route of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, where we're not going to be focused on a lot of dungeons. I would be disappointed in that for a 2D game, though, because I really think that 3D and 2D, I think it works, the whole exploration and just where most of the game happens in the overworld for the 3D games, but I'm not sure it's going to work for 2D games. So I'm hoping they're keeping a lot of the dungeon elements. And who knows, maybe when we jump into Rift, we get control of Link. So that's the only thought I can think there. Or there's just another like side to the gameplay of Zelda that they're still keeping secret from us, that either they're going to reveal right before the release of the game, so like first week of September, or they're just not going to talk about it, and it's going to be like they're going to want people to go nuts about it when it actually comes out. But this trailer, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, had managed to get me even more excited for the game. And that is whether Link is actually playable or not. I've just become even more excited. I was already very positive about the game. I was already very excited. But seeing a lot of these mechanics and the freedom to use them is really making me super positive about the game. And it's actually brought me to the point where I've always said Zelda didn't necessarily need Link to deliver a good game, but seeing all these mechanics, I'm more convinced that they don't need to do that. I still think it would be a better move if they did my idea, or when I say my idea, my but like I think that would be a better idea to swap between the two, because I think that would really cater to everyone in the Zelda community, giving us something fresh and new in controlling Zelda, at the same time catering to those who like the classic gameplay for parts of the game controlling Link. You know, I think it would be like the smart move. But at the same time, this trailer has made me comfortable to say that even if that's not part of it, I think there's going to be a lot to love here. And I am really hoping we have time to play through this whole game on stream. I think I'm going to work very hard to make that happen. Ganon is playable. Honestly, I don't think so. The one thing, though, is that when you look at the artwork for the game, you do see Link and Ganon very predominant. Now, they could be only using that for clout, just because Link is so recognizable with the Zelda franchise, because Zelda is definitely at the forefront. But you do have Ganon and Link very predominant in the artwork at the back. So to see them once at the beginning of the game and then make them unplayable, I don't feel is the way to go. But that could actually be insane. What if Link and Ganon do have to work together to make their way out of the rifts? Because when the rift sucks in Link and Ganon in the other trailer, I don't think it looks like Ganon is like super excited about it. Like, I don't think it looks like it's part of Ganon's plan, does it? Let's go look at the first trailer, that part. Hold on. Echoes of Wisdom trailer. Let's go look at that. That just hit me too. Like, whoever... who said that Ganon was playable? Champ Dancer, you got my mind working even more. Where's the first one? I just want 1 month ago here. Okay, let's just watch this part. You're allowed to your opinion on that Eggmeister. Yeah, I'm not sure Ganon is actually the one who makes this happen. I'm wondering if it's like a third party here that's taking advantage of the fact that Link and Ganon are fighting again, so both of them are like not focused. You know what I mean? Like they're not ready for like trouble, and they're taking advantage of this to actually trap both of them. We might be onto something, guys. We might be onto something here. Give me just seconds. An Amber Alert. Okay. It's not directly at my place. I always take a look at those, though. You know, I'm a dad of 4 kids, eh? Can't ignore those Amber Alerts. But it's way too far for the person to be here. Okay. But seriously, that is a extremely, extremely interesting thought. What if Ganon and Link have to work together? And I was saying Undead Eichmeister, you're allowed to have that opinion, and no one can take your opinion away from you. It can be a bad opinion. I'm just busting your balls, by the way. It's a bad opinion, but I'm just busting your balls nonetheless. But you're allowed to have it. But I do see your thought process as well. Like, Zelda's been waiting years and years to have a game. Why would we ruin her game by making Link playable and everyone probably gushing over the Link playability? I get that thought process as well. I just think that in an evolving franchise, rather than just take the easy route of, oh, let's make Zelda playable, I think it would be even better to have that swap between the two, because it would be a twist that no one sees coming. Yeah, seriously, that's a really interesting thought. And the conspiracy theories here are getting wild. That would actually be a very, very big possibility. Maybe even Ganon could be playable, because they are extremely predominant in the artwork. I'm coming back to this, and I know it could mean absolutely nothing, but like, I don't see them being this predominant in the artwork if they're just like, oh, we see them once at the beginning, we see them once at the end. So, or like I said, maybe Zelda, just when she travels to the other worlds. But like I said, if she's traveling into the world where Link is, I do think we're going to be seeing him during those sections. And the fact that they're voluntarily not showing us that part of the trailer makes me feel even more like this could be, we're cooking here. We're cooking. We're getting some good idea possibilities. Like, they're purposefully cutting us the trailer here and letting us know something's going down when she jumps into the rifts. Now, what goes down? Anyway, food for thought, guys. Food for thought. I'm super excited for this game. We are 1 month and 21 days away. By the time the stream ends, we are going to be 1 month and 20 days away. I am super excited for this. First-time viewer, first-time commenter. What if Link is under some control, evil control of some sort? That could happen as well. Maybe Zelda's going to have to fight an evil Link in the rifts. That could be an interesting thought as well. I wouldn't see the point of having Ganon there if that was true, but it could be a possibility. Look, nothing is off the table here. And like I said, Nintendo loves throwing us a curveball like at the last minute and keeping just enough away. Okie doke. So, I think we've talked about Zelda. And wow, man, time flies in this format. It's insane. It's already been an hour and like 15 minutes that I've been live. And like I said, I was aiming these episodes being between an hour and an hour and a half. And time flies like crazy, guys. We'll go over if we need to. Like, when we have really good episodes going, and as long as we're talking about interesting stuff, we're going to keep going, okay? Now, I know it's going to get late, whatnot. Some people might drop off. That's perfectly fine. Now, I wanted to go to another thing, the Zelda Lego, the Legos that are coming out or that were announced. Now, hopefully you guys know that there is a Deku Tree coming out Lego. If you don't and you want to see it, let me know. We'll take a look. But the one I want to look at, because the Deku Tree has been announced now for over a month, is the give me just a sec here. I thought I had the link down. I do not. Dang. Lego Super Mario. Lego Super Mario. This one. So this is the new set that was announced last week, which is Mario and Yoshi. I know we need a Lego stream. I'm going to try to do them. I'll just be honest, for the moment, they're not very popular on the channel. I know it could be that I don't do enough, but the worst performing video ever on the channel was the second Lego video that I did like a few months ago. And I love doing them, but I want you guys to be into them too. And it's not, this is not a this is not like a dig, because if you're not into them, you're not into them. It's just that if there's no, to put the time into doing the video, when for me it's it's not a huge motivation when people don't enjoy watching them after that. So I just put the energy somewhere else. And just to let you know, building a Lego while filming it takes about double time of building a Lego while not filming it. So it also takes some of the pleasure away from building the Lego. But maybe we'll do like a Lego building stream during my week off. That would be fun. It's just I've built most of the sets. So there's two I want to look at today. I want to look at the Super Mario Lego here, but I also want to look at the new Animal Crossing ones. And I want to say, I am really glad that Nintendo's going more for these standalone sets. Because if you don't know, if you're not a Lego fan, Lego Mario traditionally was a sort of game. A Lego set would basically, you would buy different sets and you could make like a Mario level out of Lego. And then you had an interactive Mario that read barcodes on different parts, and you could bounce him around the playset like he was going through a level. And although the concept at the beginning was super fun, as an adult, as a Lego collector adult, it wasn't really working for me, especially that they weren't the same size as minifigure sets. So you can't really mix any of the Mario stuff with the Sonic stuff or the Animal Crossing stuff. And I think that Mario is best, number one, if they would make them regular minifigures, or really going for the standalone sets like this, like the display piece Lego sets, like Bowser that is behind me. Like Bowser. Now, Bowser does have a barcode, so he is functional with the game part, but he also works perfectly as a standalone set. Okay? He's huge. He takes up room. He commands attention when you see him. Or probably one of my other favorite Lego sets, the Piranha Plant, that I built on my own. So I didn't build him on stream because, like I said, the videos weren't doing too well. But I love this set. I love the Piranha Plant set. So I'm really glad that they're going with standalone display pieces, because I do think that if they want to keep doing Lego Mario, that's where it's going. That's where the future is going to be. And if we can look, this one even has a mechanical system by using Technic bricks. So Technic bricks for Lego, if you don't know, are like often the moving parts. Bowser has moving parts as well. The Piranha Plant has moving parts as well. So a lot of these work the same way. As you can see, Yoshi can throw a little fireball here. Basically, you have a little crank that you're going to crank. Mario's foot's going to move, Yoshi's foot's going to move, and he's going to be throwing out this fireball here. Now, if we take a look at some of the other pictures, we see it like sort of in the building process, but there is a back image. I saw it a little earlier. It must have been on a third-party website. We got an image of the back. You can see that it's basically Technic bricks at the back. I find this super, super exciting as a set. It is a little costly, however, at $169.99. But you're going to see later that this seems very pricey, but it's actually not that pricey for a Lego Mario set. Okay, and I'm gonna rant a little bit about a Lego set today, because there is one Lego set that we're gonna look at in a few moments that the price point is garbage. It is total garbage. Lego is already expensive enough. When you're dealing with Legos that are an IP not owned by Lego, so any Lego set like Star Wars, like Mario, like Jurassic Park, you're always going to be paying double the price of a set where there is no IP that Lego has to pay to use the IP. But one of these sets is really at a disgusting price point. And I'm sorry I'm saying it this way, but it is really a disgusting price point for what they're trying to sell. And I really hope that they don't try to gouge people like that in the future. But This is the one I am most excited about besides the Deku tree. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the Deku tree, but we'll look at it. We'll look at it separately. Let me just let me get my rant out of the way. Okay, but this one, it's looking amazing. Like I said, hold on, let's look through the pictures once again. So Mario's foot here, back and forth. You've got the Yoshi foot. He opens his mouth, throws a fireball out. Honestly, it's going to be a really great display piece. It's going to be a really glittery. Here was a fireball. So like you see, like most likely at one point by cranking, he's going to open his mouth, the fireball's going to come out. Or maybe there's going to be like a separate button or separate crank for the mouth. It's pretty big too. You can see here, like you have it in perspective with a person behind it. So this is going to be a pretty big one. Pretty big one. Yeah, no, it looks great. Honestly, it looks really great. I'm super excited for this one. It's going to be a pretty good one. Now, the other sets that were announced like just today or a couple of days ago were Lego Animal Crossing sets. Now, by the way, I own all of the Lego Animal Crossing sets that are out so far. I can't pivot my camera over there. It's too far. But basically, I own all of the original 6 sets, which is basically Bunny's Outdoor Activities, Julian's Birthday, Isabel's House, Nook's Cranny and Rosie's House, and Captain's Island Boat Tour. Now, I just want to, in perspective, basically the best value set here that you could get was Isabel's House. Isabel's House for $50 for a 389 piece set was actually pretty decent for a Lego property that's using an AP. Okay. However, Nook's Cranny and Rosie's House was double the price for only 200, not even 200 extra pieces. Now this was extremely high, and I'll be honest, I was disappointed with this set. I was happy to have it because you can't have Animal Crossing without Nook's Cranny, but if we're talking about value for price-wise, it didn't feel good to have this set. Because yes, you had 2 houses, but Isabel's House came with like a lot of extra stuff here that these 2 houses did not come with. Like these were much more bare bones. Now, the 2 new sets that were just announced, we'll look at the first one that is not too bad, but still they're going up with their prices, is the Dodo Airlines. I'm liking this set, though. The only thing is the Dodo Airlines part looks very small. It looks way too small. Like, this building should be about double this size. And if you're charging $50 for a Lego set for 292 pieces, that is very expensive. Okay? I know. And what's his name? Tom Nook is probably taking a cut of his own for that one. So they don't only have to pay Nintendo for the IP, they also have to pay Tom Nook himself because he's in the set. You know what I mean? And the thing is, that's what they're depending on. They're depending on the minifigs selling the sets. Okay? Don't worry, guys. We're not going to talk about Lego too long, okay? But we're going to go through these sets. It's just that the value is getting worse and worse. You're at 292 pieces at $50 when basically Isabel's House was $389. Like, it doesn't seem like that much more, but we're over 150 pieces more almost for $50. That's like 40% more pieces for the same goddamn price. Like, basically, Captain's Island Boat Tour is almost the same number of pieces as Dodo here. Like, it's one of the closest sets piece wise, and this was $39. And I found this was one of the weaker sets as well, by the way, because it just doesn't give you anything consistent when it's built up. While the other ones have more of a centerpiece feel, this one feels like a bunch of disjointed mini islands. I want to see the kid museum Rick has in his house. Once I have everything cleaned up, which is actually I've sold a lot of my pops. I've kept only the really gaming ones that I wanted to keep. Things are getting a lot cleaner. Once I have everything cleaned up, I'll do another studio tour. Because the last one I did, everything was a mess. It's still a total mess, by the way, but things are getting better. It's just a very long time because I have to sell the stuff that I'm getting rid of. And it's stuff that doesn't sell very quickly. Like pops, like it depends. Like there are some pops that sell super quick, but there are others that sell much slower. And right now I'm down to the slower selling ones. But here is the total. I feel like this is the one I want to rant about the most, basically. KK's concert at the Plaza. $100 for now 550 pieces, only one building, and a tiny little car. Like basically, because all this stuff, just to be honest, all this stuff is like so small. Trust me, I have the exact same ones. Like, you know, I have the exact same ones in Isabel's house and whatnot. Like these trees and whatnot, like other than being different colors, are exactly the same. To Gade with the $1.99 donation. What's up? Yes, what's up, man? First podcast stream, or I'm not sure I'm going to call this a podcast stream. By the way, I do want to have guests eventually, and I'm going to be working on that. I just want to get the podcast up and running to have a format working before I throw guests into this. You know what I mean? So, but yes, I do want to have that eventually. But yeah, so this is honestly, this is the point too far. Like this set looks bare bones as ass. I would love to have Alex. I will invite him. Time zones are going to be an issue though. Time zones are going to be an issue for Alex, because like when the podcast starts, it's like 4 a.m. where he is or close to it. So it's going to be like a little bit of an issue. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I could ever have. I don't know if I would ever do viewers as guests. I'm not saying no. It's just that I don't want I want some viewers feeling alienated because I chose one viewer and not another viewer, and you understand what I mean. And at one point, I can't have 20,000 people neither as guests. So, and I'm not saying, and I know that there are members that have been here for like 2 or 3 years. I recognize that. I'm just saying I don't know if I want to go down there because it's going to put a precedent. But yeah, I'd love to do a hockey stream, except we would get a takedown like immediately. I guarantee you we cannot watch a hockey game unless I get like the rights from one of the companies, which will never ever happen. Never ever happen. But yeah, this is bare bones as ass for $100. Because if you think about it, like disregard the parts, okay? Disregard the parts, because this is a lot of small little garbage parts. They're upping the part count by doing like these little crap parts here. But $100, you're getting one building and a tiny little car. When for $100, this was already feeling like a bad deal, but at least you're getting 2 full buildings with bigger buildings. Look at Tom Nook's. Look at the room. Look at freaking Rosie's house. You had a bed. You had all types of furniture in it. If you come back here, this is tiny. This is half like the size of the inside of Nook's Cranny. And they're selling it as a standalone building with a few extra things in a car for $100. I was super hyped for the Animal Crossing sets, but now I feel like they're robbing us. You know what I mean? And I don't like having a negative feeling about this stuff because I want it, but I don't want to feel like I'm being bent over to get it. You know what I mean? I think we're all like that. Like, I don't mind paying a premium price for a premium product, but I feel like I'm paying a premium price for a so-so product. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but yeah, I feel like they're bending us over. You know what I mean? It's that easy. So I was super hyped to see that we were getting new Animal Crossing sets because that probably means we're going to be getting more. But at the same time, I'm super disappointed by the price point they're going for these sets. So I just wanted to show the sets off because they're exciting, but at the same time, come on, you can do better, guys. Lego and Nintendo, you can do better on these pricings. Like, this should be an $80 set. Big max, $80. And even at $80, it'd be feeling bad, but a bad that I can deal with. By the way, this is Canadian. It's going to be slightly cheaper in the US. I'm complaining a lot, but I'm basing these off of prices of Canadian prices. US, I think it's around $80. But this should be around $80 Canadian, 60 in the US, somewhere around there. Okay, by the way, I should have said that at the beginning of the rant, but you know, I'm in Canada, so they're going to give me Canada prices. And it's a little harder to get to the Lego US site when I'm in Canada because they always default you back to, like, if I start clicking around the site, they default me back to Canada because they hate me. And I can't really use a VPN while I'm streaming because it slows down the stream too much. But yeah, I wanted to get that out there. It is something that I am disappointed about, yet excited somehow at the same time. And just a quick overview, just in case you guys did not see it. Lego Zelda. If you did not see the Deku Tree, guys, this is the bomb. This is the bomb. 2,500 pieces, $389. It is a very expensive set. I think it's somewhere around $300 in the US. But this is going to be amazing. You can actually build it in two different ways. You can build it like Breath of the Wild, or you can build it like Ocarina of Time. So you have two different versions of Link, and you have two different versions of the Deku Tree. But you can only build one at a time. So you can see it here on the box. You have Ocarina of Time and you have Breath of the Wild. This is going to be the bomb set for this year. Okay? Bomb set. Most anticipated game for this year, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. For the moment, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Like, unless Silk Song gets officially announced before the end of the year, it is Echoes of Wisdom. Yes, I am gonna try and buy it. I just don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one because I'm picking up the Zelda Switch Lite the same month. I'm picking up Echoes of Wisdom the same month. Most likely, Marvel versus Capcom is gonna be somewhere in there as well. So at one point, money's gonna run short. So, and the Lego is going to be, you know, I'm going to prioritize things that are going to be awesome for the channel before things that I want for me personally for collecting purposes. So I do want this. I will absolutely 100% be getting it. But maybe I'll work on my wife to get it for me for Christmas. You know what I mean? My birthday's in November too. So, you know, maybe I can drop the hints. She just doesn't like buying big Lego sets for me because she finds it's like wasting money, which it sort of is, but it sort of isn't as well. Okay. So we have all of this out of the way. Let me just look at my sheet here because I had a lot of other subjects, but I'm talking, but I think we're focusing on the good stuff anyway. We need to talk about like everything I want to talk about. And you know, we can't, I don't think I could have really shortened a lot of this. Tony Stark, Dungeon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red is dropping on Nintendo Switch Online. For some reason, we didn't get the trailer in North America. Well, it is dropped on Nintendo Switch Online, but for some reason, the trailer only came out in Japan, which is odd. On Mystery Dungeon Online. It's like really weird. So if you guys didn't know, we are getting Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I'll let the trailer play out and we'll talk a few minutes about it. So yeah, so we're getting so because I'm trying to look if we can actually see that the game's available right now. I'm pretty sure it is. I didn't go check myself because I didn't go check yet because honestly, I'm not super excited to replay Mystery Dungeon personally. Yeah, it's the GBA game. So it's only Team Red because Team Blue was on the DS. So by the way, there is no DS emulator for the moment. So that's why for the moment we're getting it on Nintendo Switch Online GBA. So no, it is not available yet, at least not in my on my app. But it is supposed to be coming to North America as well. Everyone's talking about the fact that it is coming to North America, but it is not out yet. So I wanted to check again because we never know when it's theoretically gonna drop. I was pretty sure people were saying it was already available. You know what? I'll look into this. We'll come back on it next week because it's a fun game, but I don't think it's big enough where we need to know right now if it's there or not. And let's just see here. Yeah, it's coming soon. It's Game Explain here. We're saying that we'll look at their video quick.
Over that place.
I still don't get the point of why you would sort of space out the releases for regions. August 9th. So Game Explain must have gotten the exclusive announcement for it. They need to drop Yoshi's Cookie for the SNES. The Game Boy version plays differently. Yeah, it does play differently. And you are right. I do think they should drop Yoshi Cookie. It's an underrated puzzle game. It is definitely a totally underrated puzzle game on the Nintendo Switch. On the Super NES. You are totally right. So the last part of the stream, what I do want to do, and give me just a second because I will log in. I want us to take a look at the upcoming Nintendo Switch games for the future, for the next week. So I do always want to sort of close the show out on this. So what we are specifically going to do, let me go grab the US eShop actually, so that we can get the prices directly in US. What I want to take a look at is every game that's coming out between today and next Sunday. So we're always going to cut off looking at games that on the following Sunday. So for right now, we're the 5th. So 5th plus 6 was till the 11th. We're actually the 6th now, but I'm calculating from the 5th, which was when we started the stream. So we're always going to look at all the upcoming games. When I say all the upcoming games that don't look like trash. And I'm going to try to see if we can find trailers for them. And we are going to sort of try and figure out what are the 2-3 games that we should be looking at. And I actually just got a review code today, and I want to show you guys the trailer. I want you guys to let me know, is this a game I should put time into? I think I should at least try it, but I want to know what you guys think about the trailer for the game, the code I got today. So let's start with the recent releases, because we do have games that might have came out today. I just want to take a quick look. I don't think there was anything really today, and the shop is slow as Garbo. So Elgato capture card display, and of course it is not displaying. There we go. Fixed. Won't be much longer. Okay. So let's take a look at all the games that are coming out in the next week. Now, these are the recent releases. I just want to see if there were any games that came out like today. We are going to look at maybe one game that came out last week, Evo Monsters. I'm wondering if this one could be something decent. I am wondering if this one could be something decent. However, I don't want to prioritize this one because a game that releases and right away drops to $1.99 for me doesn't get me excited in the right way. So let's look at the coming soon games, because World of Goo 2, I would love to review it, but I'm not going to pay $30 for that game. This one I am super excited for. Volgar the Viking 2, I think is going to be amazing. This is a hardcore 2D action platformer, so it's a 2D action platformer, but trust me, it is hard, okay? It is going to be challenging, but I heard that they basically took Volgar 1, that was a okay game, but not great, and they apparently made every part of the game better. Okay, and I saw a review today giving it a 9 out of 10 from a respected source. So I am extremely excited for this one. Now let me see if I can find a trailer so we can watch it right away. So that's what we're going to do, guys, to close out the show. We're going to basically, we're not going to watch, obviously, every game coming out, because we're going to skip like the hentai stuff. You know what I mean? The waifu stuff, we're most likely going to be skipping. If you're into that, it's perfectly fine, my friends. But I don't think we're going to be watching those trailers. Sorry, Bear. Yes. Galgun is not on the menu. Rise! Why? Because that's the way it is. Let's take a look really quickly here. So we have Volgar the Viking 2 announcement trailer. So we're going to take a look at the game, get ourselves excited, and like I said, we're going to select, I would say, probably 4 or 5 games like this that we're going to take a look at the trailers, and you guys can let me know if you are excited as I am about these upcoming games. Almost Souls-like combat. Just the fact that the trailer starts with a death montage. Learn from pain. So, guys, are we pumped? Visuals are awesome. The music, if this is representative of what will be playing in the game, we have to watch it with trailer music because it's not always music that's going to be playing in the game. But this thing looks freaking amazing. The one thing I'm going to warn you guys, it is going to be hard. It is going to be grueling. You will have to learn the levels by heart. That is what Volgar the Viking is, okay? And apparently the second one is even more brutal. You want to watch me play that? Yeah, we're gonna need donations for that. I'm joking. I'm joking. But it is done by Digital Eclipse. They know what they're doing with retro games. I think it's going to be an amazing game, but it is going to be a grueling, frustrating game that you're going to have to play levels over and over and over again till you finish them. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to deal with lives and continues and all that. I'm hoping they're going like unlimited and just making it that you need to get checkpoint to checkpoint. Because I think that is the best way to make a hard game, but make the progression feel worth it. Like when we played Arrow the Acrobat, I put infinite lives. I don't want the platforming to be easier, but I don't want to have to start over from the beginning of the game every goddamn time I die 3 times in a level. You know what I mean? And this is what I just hope that they did take that approach. I'll be trying to get a review code. Maybe we'll be able to play the game. Okay. However, there are other games that are possibly coming out. So let's keep looking. But Volgar the Viking, guys, trust me, I am very hopeful for this one. Very hopeful. And at $20 right now on sale for $15.99, looks not too bad. Natsuman, I'm like not super excited. I think I'm a little overdone in cozy games. However, I mean, I don't want to say it's going to be bad because it could be very good, but personally, I'm a little like out of cozy games for the moment. Now, this I want to see Pigeon Bird Simulator. Now, this one, I'm not saying it's good. It looks good, guys. I just need to see if there's a trailer for this game because I need to understand this one. I need to understand how you go from ugly pigeon to buff pigeon. So let's see. Pigeon Sim trailer. Switch. Oh my God, forget this. It is Midnight Works. It is Midnight Works. I just lost all how can I say desire to look at this game. Midnight Works is like they do garbage games generally. Now look, maybe all of a sudden they decided to make a good one, but I don't think it's even worth looking at the trailer because they actually do things where the trailers are fake. You look at the trailer, you play the game, and most of what's in the trailer isn't even in the game. Okay? So we're not even going to look at it because we can't trust that what we're going to see is what we're going to be playing. So let's see. August 7th, we have... Just want to see what this is. Let's go see who makes this one. Forgot to check that. I always check who publishes and who makes the game. Don't think a point-and-click storybook game. Looks not really like what I'm shopping for right now. What we're shopping for. But at the same time, guys, if you see something and you're like, oh, no, we've got to get that one. The Jellicoe system here, meh. This one could have some potential. Let's see this one here. Skelethrone, The Chronicles of Ericona. Challenging 2D action platformer with RPG elements. Let's see if we've got a trailer for this one. Oh, yes, we have an official release date trailer. So give me a second here.
You really think you can get me to like dark chocolate?
Without a doubt.
Won't it taste bitter?
Not this dark chocolate.
Yes, I have
It's
ads.
delicious. I told you it wasn't bitter.
From the Lindt Matra Chocolatier, discover new Excellence Mild. Expect delicious.
Peggy 16.
Yeah, SteamWorld Heist 2, guys, I know. That's why I said I don't know if that's what we're going to play on Friday, the Volgar
Time
game.
stands still. I hear the echo from nowhere. In the timeless whirlpool, you might overcome your fate.
Can we see some gameplay? Oh, here we go. You're taking the words out of my mouth, Grovel. I'm just letting the trailer play out. Yeah, I could go either way on this one. I'm not like, I don't, till you play the game, you can't know, but a lot of the animations, a lot of the hitboxes didn't look too promising. And they feel to be, they seem to be, like, I know that trailers are often cut in very short segments, but the segments really only show us kill shots most of the time and don't show most of the combat. I would have liked to see like a scene where we could see a real prolonged combat against an enemy or something, because I'm not sure this is gonna, like, it looks amazing, the artwork is amazing, I'm just not sure how the gameplay is gonna be, because yes, it looks stiff. The hitboxes sometimes seemed wonky from the gameplay we saw. So this one's gonna be a big maybe. Like if I get a review code for this one and I have some extra time after playing the ones I'm more sure about, this could be a big maybe. I don't want to say yet that it is stiff, it just looks stiff. I will, and you guys are right on that one. But I do think the artwork is beautiful. Yeah, the animation looked like a mobile game, like at times. To me, it felt mobile game inspired at times. The animation looked made on purpose. It could be as well. Like I said, I don't want to automatically discredit the game. I just want to say that trailer, the combat did not sell me on it. Games like Caddy, these seemed to be like, we seem to be getting a lot of games that are copies of one of another, just swapping the animal. We had the exact same game come out not too long ago, but with a frog, now with a cat, and we played one of these. I can't remember the one we played, but we played one with a different animal too. Wasn't it a dragon or something like that? And I finished the game on stream, and then the second half of the game was playing them backwards, the same levels backwards. Not gonna say it's a bad game once again if you haven't played a ton of these, but I think it's getting played out now. They've released a few too many. Cat Quest 3. Okay, we now we're getting to some bigger games. Cat Quest 3 looks very good. Cat Quest 1 was pretty good. Cat Quest 2 was already very good, and Cat Quest 3 looks really good. Yeah, we have a 1.5 minute trailer here. Let's go take a look at this one here. There's a demo for this one, by the way. The marine battles actually look pretty well done. Whoopsie there. Let's stop the trailer. So yes, Cat Quest 3 looks pretty good. Like I said, they seem to have taken what worked for Cat Quest 2, made it even better. We have marine battles now. The gameplay looks fun. It looks interesting. They're keeping the cutesy cat animations, which works for the game. Obviously, is this going to be a revolutionary action RPG? No, it's not going to be revolutionary. Not in my opinion. But it looks very good. Now, I'm hoping to get a download code for this one, but I am going to just download the demo right away while I'm here on the page, because I did want to download the demo as well, just in case I don't get a review code. But yeah, no, this game looks very promising, guys. And I've heard some good things through the grapevine about it. So I'm extremely looking forward to playing this one. Hopefully, like I said, it will hold up to the standards that the second one put forward and push it even a little bit further. So I do think we have a very promising game here. So we're already at like 3 very promising games for the next little bit. Let's go take a look now at our next one, which is going to be a no-brainer. Next one is going to be SteamWorld Heist 2. This game is looking freaking crazy. So if you guys have not if you haven't played SteamWorld Heist 1, what are you doing with your life? Number 1. And number 2 is like, it is one of the best strategy games on the Switch. Like, SteamWorld Heist 1 is just one of the best games on the strategy games on the Switch. So SteamWorld Heist 2 would have to do a lot of things wrong to F it up. Let's take the most recent one. Are we getting a more recent one to this? No. So pre-order trailer seems like the most recent one. Let's grab this here.
Welcome to SteamWorld Heist 2. In this world, steam-powered robots need water to survive. And in outer space, it's in short supply. However, something seems to be poisoning the sea, making clean water something worth stealing. You play as Captain Quincy Leeway. Together with your chosen crew, you sail and heist your way through the Great Oceanic Shard. In fact, let's join your submarine preparing for a heist deep in the frozen north.
So it's a different crew than the first game.
This is a mid-game mission, so let's pick our crew. Daisy is a fantastic sniper. Wesley gets to shoot twice if he kills an enemy as a Reaper. And Poe is a boomer, able to deliver massive damage. As captain, you can tailor your crew and choose their roles to fit your playstyle. Like the previous game, the combat of SteamWorld Heist 2 is turn-based. Plan your attacks and keep in mind enemy position, cover, and environmental hazards.
So it's basically like a 2D XCOM game. Yes, exactly. It's so funny. I was waiting for like a down part of the trailer to say it. But yes, if you like XCOM games, it's like a 2D XCOM game. However, done with a more like obviously fantasy feel. Steampunk art style, just like all SteamWorld games.
Okay, you haven't got all day. Let's skip ahead to the end of this encounter. Ah, great, another successful heist. We've increased our reputation, and all characters who were part of the heist get some experience, even if they're scrapped.
It's a good thing it's reminding you of SteamWorld Heist 2. If you have one of the best strategy games on the system...
Let's upgrade our submarine and equip it with a torpedo.
If you have one of the best strategy games on the system, I don't think you need to change much to make another great strategy game. Actually, if you change too much, you might wind up effing it up.
This should make life easier as we continue adventuring on the Great Oceanic Shard. We hope you've enjoyed this brief look into SteamWorld Heist 2. Rest assured, there's plenty more to discover, both across the sea and deep below. So grab your map, set your course, and prepare for a heck of a heist. In SteamWorld Heist 2.
And we're getting into that gaming time of year where it's just like too many games, too little time. It's always like that, but it's getting even worse right now. It's like we're at that time of the year where it's like where I'm gonna hope that we actually get like a break at one point. So they're coming out with a bundle with both of them in it. Just personally, guys, if the bundle is most likely, I hate saying not worth it, but the second game, the first game drops to like $2 sometimes. So if don't buy the bundle, like unless they stop putting the first game for $2, don't buy the bundle. Just don't. Okay. I would agree. If you only have one game to choose for this week, SteamWorld Heist 2 is probably your safest choice overall. Demon Go, I wanted to look at this one as well. Now, I just want to see how many more games we have to maybe check out, because we are running a tiny bit short on time, and there is one thing I definitely want to check with you guys, because it's a follow-up to a video that I did a few months ago. Wow, the 8th is jam-packed. Is the 8th Friday? 6th Tuesday? 7th Wednesday? 8th? No, it's Thursday. Oh, Sam. Okay, and yeah, now we're at next week. So I honestly, it's gonna... There's not much after that. There's Escape from Pharaoh's Tomb, but I want to check on that other stuff. And we are getting to that, like, we're getting past the 2-hour mark. So I do want these shows to have time to look at everything, but I'm going to try to pace them maybe a little bit faster in the future, so that we really do have time. Actually, you know what? Let's skip to the ninja. Let's skip to the ninja. I just need a sec here to grab some info. Here it is. I just hope it's out yet. Shadow of the Ninja, because I know basically we talked about Shadow of the Ninja a little while back, and apparently a demo will be dropping any time now. Now, it was not out this morning when I checked, but I'm crossing my fingers that we're gonna get there. And the worst is it's out in EU. If you're in the EU region, it is out. And I do have an EU account, but I know most of you do not, which is why I want to check if it's out on the US eShop. Okay, I think Shadow of the will probably get the game. Oh, here, Ninja Reborn. So Shadow of the Ninja Reborn, if you guys didn't see my video on it, we'll actually go take a look. While, hold on. That's not what I want. Yeah. Let's grab my video. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. We'll grab it here. I'll mute it, but it's just to give us a background. So if you guys didn't know, Shadow of the Ninja Reborn is coming out. The demo's available. Nice. So yes, there is a demo now available for Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. I was super excited about this game re-releasing. And I'm just going to give this as my video as a background here. Now, by the way, you can play the original. That's what I did for the video. You can play the original Shadow of the Ninja on the NSO app. It's on the NES. And basically, we're getting a totally remastered version. Now, this is the NES version. The remastered version is going to look like this. And now the demo is actually available. And I was super excited because this was actually an amazing action platformer on the NES. And it is most likely going to be an amazing action platformer when the remake happens. Now, the fact that a playable demo is now available is extremely exciting. So honestly, I recommend you all go and download the demo if available. I'm going to be playing it most likely tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have time to do a video on it. We might talk about it again in next week's episode. If I don't have time to do a separate video on my impressions of the demo, we will definitely be looking at it next week. Yes, the people who did Ninja Saviors are the ones doing the remake here. So we're dealing with a company that knows what they're doing for these remakes. But definitely, it's really fun that we're getting demos for these games. Because honestly, Cat Quest 3 and this, if you just have a few hours to waste on demos, it is going to be very, very good this week. So Shadow of the Ninja Reborn was one of the other stories I wanted to cover for this week because it is one of the very exciting. It's one of the games I'm very excited about. That isn't maybe a big game, isn't a very well known game. It doesn't have the prestige of SteamWorld Heist 2, where if you're a fan of the SteamWorld games, you're automatically going to want that game. But I honestly think it's going to turn out good. Like I said, we can try for ourselves. Generally, if the game's releasing a demo, you know that they're confident in their product. It's very rare that a game has a demo and the game turns out to be garbage. So I am super excited about this. And like I said, I definitely recommend go to the eShop. Go to the eShop, grab the Legend of... hold on. My god dang, eShop timed out because I'm talking to you guys too much. You're never gonna download the demo. You're lost, my friend. Just teasing. Gotta have those long passwords. So annoying. So yeah, Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. Don't think you're gonna regret it. I hate when it does that. So yeah, guys, go check it out on the eShop. Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. The release date is August 29th, and I will almost guaranteed be getting a review code. So we are going to have some fun with this game. Now, there's one last thing I do want to talk about, but like I said, don't sleep on this one. I'm very, very positive about this one, and you know me, I'm rarely wrong. I'm always right. It's one of my biggest problems. I'm always right, but people just don't trust me. The one last trailer I want us to watch is actually on the eShop itself. Let me just grab it here. And, okay, there we go. Now, this is a game I've gotten a review code for. It's just that this week, like I said, is packed. And I don't know if I should put some time into it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to watch the trailer, then I'm going to throw out a quick vote. I want you to know, should I try and fit in a review of this game, or is the trailer not convincing enough where I should take the time? And just keep in mind that if I do take the time, we're taking time away from SteamWorld Heist 2, Cat Quest 3. You understand what I mean? Is like we're maybe delaying slightly those reviews, or I don't want to say delaying, but basically I'll be putting energy into this before the other ones. Now, this is a game coming out on the 16th. So the game is called Mute Crimson DX. Yeah, it looked good to me too. Obviously, you can't always tell from the trailer if the action's going to feel good, but if it feels the way it looks, I do think we're going to have something good on our hands. It gives me sort of like Dogurai vibes, but with a different art style. Like, because it seems like Mega Man influenced in the level designs. The one thing I'm sort of wondering is the boss fights don't seem like a Mega Man like. They seem very more spaced out. But yeah, it's going to be hard. I do think it's going to be challenging. And there seems to be some kind of time rewind mechanic in the game. Like they use it a couple of times in the game. So I wonder if it's going to be something that's going to be present the whole time. But anyway, that is going to be wrapping up episode 1 of the Warp Zone. Like I said, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the show. What can we do better in the future? And am I taking too long on some stories? Am I going to, should we focus on different types of things? But I think for the moment we have a very decent formula. I just need to work a little bit on the timings because I'm not sure we can do 2 hours every time. I will if we need to, but I think if I can keep it around an hour and a half and maybe flow it a little better, it'll be a little better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for everyone that showed up for tonight for the first episode. And talk to it. You can share the video to people, share the podcast to people. I'm calling it like a sort of podcast, but I don't know if I want to really go down the podcast route. Maybe we'll just keep it as a live show. I'll see. I'll think of about it over the next few days because I actually started it as a normal live, not as a podcast. Maybe next week we'll launch it as a podcast. We shall see. But thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. And as usual, I hope I'll see all of you in my next video. Have a great one, guys.